Hey everyone, it's Stellar Steel, and it's time to steal yourself another episode of Luigi's Mansion, or I should say the Hidden Mansion. Everyone understood what happens if you go to the mansion or the Hidden Mansion. I think it might actually change it up. I don't remember if it saves from previous save, but figured, hey, might as well start the episode with this little scene right here. Luigi's entering in, and I don't know, I just kind of like this. It just seems like a good little opening. I know I can skip this, but you know what? I just like to take in the little small moments in time. That is something about me where maybe I make things a bit too dramatic, but I don't know. I just like how things feel and go, and anyways, enough about that. Anyways, though, last time we made it to this mansion and met up with Egad. We were supposed to meet up with our brother Mario, but unfortunately he was nowhere to be found and possibly was captured by ghosts. That's what we're going to assume right now. So the one thing we do is really continue to find Mario, hope for the best. We also got equipped with the Poltergust 3000 from Professor Egad to help us and aid us in our quest to find Mario through this hidden mansion. And then, we also took down this first area of ghosts, which, you know, weren't that bad, of course. They're just kind of the casual, like, and remember, so you'll get to go with this back, this portion. We also learned that apparently there's going to be portrait ghosts in this section. And, hey, guess what? I played the other cutscene, so we're going to, unfortunately, skip this cutscene. I hate how I always have to reposition my freaking chair, and it makes that squeaking sound. This is one thing, probably you guys hear all the time in recordings. Now that I bring this up, people are going to mention. I know there was one kid I always had spats with in school, but he did have a good point saying, like, people they're not going to care if you don't mention it. One thing, though, I will say that, hey, something you should care about is, I don't know why, oh, it's locking onto that ghost. It kind of has, like, a weird, that ghost mouse thing. That just kind of, yeah, there's ghost mice near I think the infinite respawn. I could be wrong about that. You got to be careful while walking through the halls. Okay, maybe they don't infinitely respawn. They're gone, okay. So, these doors, though, I want to show something because I'm doing this poltergust. The door doesn't shake. That seemed kind of suspicious. Obviously, putting wind towards it would do something, have some kind of, effect. But if the door does shake like this, it's a real door. Don't open these fake doors as you get hit. That little path of coins right there was trying to lead us into, getting that little bait door right there. There's 2 fake doors, and there's 4 real doors. So, this little portion of the corridor. This is a bit like the main section of the house, I will say. Now, there is something of interest when you go into this room, though, and I don't think there's a speedy spirit. Now, this chair's moving on its own. Obviously, that seems like a ghost. You want to go and suck this book up, though, or the book can not get sucked up. It can get clipped. Oh, wait. We just started, so I'm gonna be resetting. So there's no shame in that because I knew I had a feeling there was a speedy spirit in here, but I was trying to get that book, and sometimes when you shake things, I don't know, I'm not, just reset. Anyways, as I was saying about my whole chair debacle, I don't know, it never squeakles at first. I guess this happens to all, no, don't wiggle that. No, I need to learn from my mistakes. Now, I need to bait the book, so I think once you suck it up, it shouldn't, okay. Maybe in this case it would be better to switch to sidestep because I can actually focus on that dumb book and not focus on sucking up that chair. You can kind of tell that the book's it's fake because it just keeps... I know it's possible to suck this up. I know for a fact it is, but you can tell it's fake because it's like kind of shaking right there. There we go. Okay, it should no longer attack me now that I've done that. So keep that in mind. I don't think that applies to every single object, but... So we want to go ahead and check this chair now. Stun the speedy spirit, suck it up, and get all the gold from it. Now, this is the first speedy spirit that actually drops a gem. It does suck because when you're doing this, the money is still counting down with its timer, and it can disappear, so all that little extra gold, you might end up missing it, so keep that in mind. I don't know if I missed any bills. Last time looked like, I said I missed like a 1/4 of the gold from that last speedy spirit. It was probably more like an 1/8, based on what I missed and lost and all that good stuff, but, yeah. So anyways, though, there is another... Well, this is our first special ghost here, a portrait ghost. It's Neville. We'll deal with him a bit later, but for now, they didn't really attack you. The only thing you really have to worry about for him is that book and something else I'll mention later on, but right now he's pretty much defenseless and can't hurt us. So there's one other special ghost you want to keep in mind, though. And those mice are a bit of interest. So if you scan this cheese right here, a special ghost can appear. A golden mouse, and this also has a gem. This is an emerald. I don't remember exactly all the amount, all they're worth, but in this case, though, hey, we're just short sapphire. I mean, hey, I personally would choose ruby and emerald and then sapphire, even though I own sapphire, not ruby. And I own emerald and sapphire. I don't know. Never really was a big fan of Kyogre, but I'm probably going to be offending Kyogre fans there. That's just me, really, though. I just kind of like Groudon because it's personal preference. But anyways, though, yeah, those are gold mice. You can find those by scanning those cheese. Those do not infinitely respawn. They only appear once. So once you scan it, that's really it. Along with those speedy spirits, if you mess up with them, I believe that one, I don't know about this, but I know some gold mice are unlimited if you miss them, but in this case, I think if you miss that one, you might have to reset your game. You have to, in order to trigger them, you have to, you know, scan that. I don't think you can see that cheese unless you zoom in with your camera. Like, that might only be, it might just be positioned perfectly where you can't see it. No, I should be able to see it here, so it might just be a case of where using this, the camera only appears. That might be something that Boundary Break should have covered. I know he didn't cover in his recent episode, but also these bookshelves, for some reason, freeze the dust floating in the air and defy all physics. Wow, I guess Mario Sunshine really was headed to be a good predecessor for it. Books here are, dear readers, we have all the trouble with ghosts who aren't easily surprised, right? They have all sorts of ways to protect themselves from light. What would you do, bright folks, when in a fix with one of these stubborn ghouls? Well, sir, I'd like to first look at it for an opening, a way to catch them off guard and unsettle them. When a ghost is surprised, shows you its heart. Yeah, this is basically what Egad's telling you before, but just kind of reminding us. There's different books you can read. I believe both of these have this is Lydia's Diary. Child Diary. Twins are very shy for ghosts their age. They've been gone and hid the key to their room far away in the mansion. How very tiring. Or how very trying. They got mad at me the other day for twirling their little toy helicopter mobile. Ghost children today. Who knows what they're thinking? Kind of like the struggle between parents and child. Yeah, I know that too well. Anyways, though, so now we're going to deal with the elephant in the room here, Neville, or in this case, the man in the room. So, you can't, it's kind of the case with that ghost cheese right there. You can't see him while looking at him directly. You have to use your Game Boy Horror. Maybe that's actually what's happening here, because the Game Boy Horror allows you to reveal reveals the unseen. But anyways, this is what we get to see the thoughts of him. Oh, go ahead, try to find me. I can see you, but you cannot see me. Really, that does not help us at all. That's just kind of a taunting thing there. I think Egad even said to use the Game Boy Horror to do that, but I guess it's kind of a hint where what you want to do is you look away, and then he'll do this. As soon as he... Well, actually, I'm going to stand closer to him, but you look away, and you might have heard him earlier where he was, like, making some kind of, like, I don't know, moaning sound. With this yawning. Do that, flash him, and use your Poltergust 3,000. I almost said 5,000, but hey, that just shows my love for Dark Moon right there. And then pull with all your might. Yeah, it's really easy to get big pearls from these guys, and it's honestly something a lot easier. But anyways, I was saying about big pearls. You probably don't know a whole lot about what all the pearl sizes mean. Ghosts can drop pearls. I believe they drop 4 of small, medium, and then there's a large pearl after you get them down to down 90 health. Or only 10 health. I mean, not 90 health. You remove 90 health from them, I should say, or remove not 90 health per se. I think all of them have 100 health, but I'll just say that basically you move 90% of their health. They then drop a big pearl, which is pretty large. You can only get one of these pearls, big pearls. If you mess up and if you don't delete like 90% of their health in one pull, they will no longer drop a big pearl. So if you like mess up the pull right there and they're like at 11, then you basically missed your chance there. The only way to get that is if you reset the game. Keep that in mind if you're trying to get all the big pearls. I've never done that before. It's not really worthwhile, but if you want to try to get the max amount of money, which I guess you could say is a completionist thing, which it really isn't technically worth it. I know people set different standards for completing games, but it's really up to you. In this case, though, we got this key, so now we get to fight the ghost called Lydia in here. You might know, the serpents that he was saying. I don't know. I don't know. Something I should say about that Speedy Spirit. I don't believe that Speedy Spirit spawns in the 3DS version of the Hidden Mansion right there. Once again, I always thought the Speedy Spirits spawned in different locations, but no, that is not the case. Oh yeah, right here also, you spin this fan really fast and money plops out. I know fans spinning too well, because in Dark Moon there's a glitch where a key doesn't spawn in the multiplayer. I don't know, I kind of have mixed opinions. I know people... I guess I'll talk about my opinions about the other Luigi's Mansion games while they're on my mind. So I always have a problem in life where I can't really decide what is favorites and what isn't. Back in the day, I never really had access to the internet, and I guess the term favorite was kind of foreign to me. I mean, well, how remote it is these days. You see it all the time about, what's favorite, what's this. In this case, also, I should say, if you want to capture Lydia, you got to make this draft right here. I guess before I try to bother capturing her, I'm going to go ahead and check around, because I just double-checked to see if there's a Speedy Spirit. There might be one in this bed. I could be wrong. Oh, yeah, right there, she respawned. But don't worry about it if you mess up that term. You do not miss your chance for your big pearl. Or something else later on I'll talk about. But for me, though, I like Dark Moon. It's pretty memorable for me. I don't really have opinions about, like a tier list of, like, what's the best, what is, this. I know people every day, or, like, in this day and age, people would always say, like, we need to decide, like, we need to determine the best of the best of, what game is, or what game isn't. To me, I don't really care for that terminology. I'm definitely the minority here about this, which, you know, isn't the end of the world. If people don't like my opinion, so be it. But, like, I don't like to pick favorites unless it's absolutely necessary. And, yeah, I know you eventually should in your life pick favorites because you're kind of stuck in the wire about, like, what is, what isn't. And it's not really a good thing. But I like to look at games, what makes them unique, not what makes them better. And that's really what kind of stands out for me. Luigi's Mansion, I did play this game first before Dark Moon, but I played Dark Moon about 6 months later after the original came out. I mean, not the original came out, after I played the original, because I got into GameCube stuff back in 2012. And Dark Moon came out, it was supposed to come out in 2012, but it was delayed. Also, we hear crying right here. I wonder what that could be. Well, like father, like husband, and like wife, leads to birth of a child. And a dastardly one at that. Well, we'll see about that as we approach this room. So let's go ahead and plop our key into here. And we're seeing here that there's coinage around the toy horse, but I don't know. This room, I don't think anything can attack you in here. I think there might be a hidden ghost in here in the Hidden Mansion for 3DS. I could be wrong about where it's located. But, what you do, this ball appears, it's just gonna kind of plop around. This ball will come in handy a bit later on. There's a big heart that can pop out of here, not in the Hidden Mansion. Actually, this might be the only location where the big heart can pop out. This big heart, I believe, heals 50 health. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. I know it heals more than 10 or 20. Heals quite a bit. I will say, I kind of like that old photo stuff. It looks like there's almost, I know that's a pacifier, but it looks like it's almost blood from a baby's mouth. I don't know. That just looks kind of, definitely adds to the spookiness, I will say. I believe some coinage is hit. Yes, it is. But, yeah, I don't really have opinions about what's my favorite, what isn't my favorite Luigi's Mansion game. It's definitely a hard series, and this also can apply with the Paper Mario series as well. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions on Sticker Star. I'm not really... To me, I think there's just so much, like, daft opinions on a lot of these different games, like, you know, what is better, what isn't, you know, what sucks, that it makes me want to concede and not really make opinions on that stuff because everybody else already did. And to me, I just like to look at games, what makes them unique and whether they're fun or not. And to me, spoilers for me personally, all games of the Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion series are fun for me. So what you want to do here is you want to move this rocking horse. Probably should have scanned both Lydia and the baby beforehand, but this is Chauncey, I will say, the baby, the family, which I don't really know if it's necessarily they're a family. I know it's implied, but I don't know if it's actually like confirmed in the lore of the game files this game or the developers. But anyways, though, hey, want to play with me? And then Chauncey will begin to attack you. Do not stand near Chauncey or these toy bears. You'll get hurt. You want to go and take this ball and just go ahead and bop Chauncey in the face. Once doing so, then you'll trigger the story event. Or eventually it will. Ooh, you gave me owie. I just wanted to play with you. I hate grown-ups. Why? Why do you have to be bigger than me? I've had enough. Small, now grow smaller. Small, itsy, tiny, little, wee, goo goo gaga! Here we have Chauncey, our first major boss fight. Like the little wink right there. It is the first area boss fight. The portrait ghosts are kind of like mini bosses, so don't really put too much mind to them. Right, your Chauncey will attack by shooting these horses, or these toy horses at you a few times. You want to go and walk past them, make the trailer out of the way. In the Hidden Mansion, they will move in a curved pattern, so keep that in mind. They're a bit harder. Actually, they're pretty... I feel like they're much harder to avoid. Could just be me, though. But you want to go and take this big ball right here and plop it at Chauncey's face. After doing so, you can then suck him up, or should be able to. Now, it is possible to get this guy in only 2 phases. In fact, look at this case. I was able to do a ton of damage to him right there with the Super Poltergust. But in the Hidden Mansion for the European and the 3DS version, those toy horses will move a bit more sporadic, so keep in mind. It's probably the only really difficult part of this fight. I mean, it's kind of a joke. I did have trouble with this fight. To me, I don't really care for it all that much. I mean, fighting a baby and just kind of the design, and I don't know, I don't really care for the... I do like Baby Blue, but like the aesthetic of this place just doesn't really appeal to me all that much. Also, those toy horses do hurt, so be careful. And they move a bit faster as the phases go on, since it's, you know, he is low on health. In that case, there'll be 2 right there that'll kind of flop around. I think he's going to do the, oh yeah, the balls again, not the stomp. Generally, I like to hide in this area, and it doesn't really bother me. Or be careful, because those balls can hurt you if you're not careful. Plop them, and it just should be the final, hopefully the final. And that is it! Yes, it is possible to get this guy twice, especially with the Super Poltergust. And we did it! Area cleared of Luigi's Mansion. Or Hidden Mansion, as I should say, because it's so hidden, we're just so good. It's the hidden joy. And I will say, listen to one of my absolute favorite themes in this game. It is fantastic. I actually also want to see if I can suck the key towards you, but yes. I just love that theme. How it's like dun 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 dun, and at the end you get to hear that, like, I think it's a piano that goes like dun, like really serene. I just love that theme oh so much. It just sucked that the plant was kind of blocking our path. See the key, but right there I believe we got the heart key. It was. If not, I think it was the spade key. Couldn't see entirely. I wasn't paying attention because I was more excited about that fantastic sound. But in this case, if I had to pick up the call from Egad, I'm going to stop gushing about the sounds. Luigi, can you hear me? Oh, thank goodness you're okay. I lost contact with you all of a sudden. I was a tad worried. You seem to be a bit tuckered out after that long battle, don't you? Why don't you come on back to the lab? When you vacuum a ghost, your poltergust... Excuse me. I meant to say, when you vacuum a boss ghost, your poltergust 3000 gets pretty much full to bursting. But, ho-ho, I guess you showed that boss ghost who's boss. We did it! And in this case, yeah, you can basically suck up as many ghosts as you desire, but as soon as you suck up a boss ghost, it just, for whatever reason, the poltergust will eventually burst, so you need to go back to the lab. In this case, though, it's the developers spacing out things in levels, so really make an excuse about how the poltergust can burst, even though it can clearly suck up as many normal ghosts as it can without worrying. So in this case, though, let's have Egad explain the rest of things here. Good job, Luigi. You made it back in one piece. Take a gander at this. This fine piece of work took nearly 20 years to develop. I call it the Ghost Portrification. Excuse me once again. I call it the Ghost Portrificationizer. I'm a little rougher on the edges. Even after 20 years, I can't pronounce it very well. So that makes sense why you couldn't exactly catch all those ghosts in the course of just 20 years. You only caught 22 ghosts because you're focusing on making this device. Like I said, you are a developer, so I am giving you the benefit of the doubt. Hey, maybe if more people thought about that in this day and age, we wouldn't have problems with saying like, man, you took 20 years, you're 50 now and you only caught 22 ghosts. Really, he was working on this machine for most of his life. But anyways, though, this machine lets you turn the ghosts you catch into paintings. Not only that, it works in reverse, too. That might come in handy. How do we use it, you ask? Well, it's simple. Just plug that Poltergust 3000 into that slot and enjoy the ride, my boy. Well, let's go and do as he says, then. So in this case, these ghosts will go inside of the Ghost Portrification. I can never say that word. I used to be able to say it just fine. Ghost Portrifinizer. I'm just going to call it that because I will have to figure it off screen how to say it. I didn't think I was going to struggle with that word of all things, but it'll go and turn these ghosts into paintings for us. Not all the ghosts. Just the boss ghosts we got. The ghosts are invisible. So we need to press them in invisible forms. I always love that thing how Luigi's like, haha, we're getting him, and press to turn him into beautiful ghost portraits. In this case, then, we get to put them in nice solid gold frames. I'll talk about those frames a bit later on. Well, just a little bit. Now, it does not turn the normal ghosts or like mice ghosts we get. Those actually are something entirely different. I'll talk about more of those as the LP goes on. The only ghosts that actually are real ghosts in this case are the portrait ghosts or the boss ghosts as we caught there. Well, we managed to turn those ghosts back into paintings. Thanks for your help, Luigi. And now we get to see the area clear screen. Now you've caught in Area 1, Neville, Lydia, and Chauncey. So those ghost frames right there, they're golden. To me, they look kind of bronze, but really they are golden. Since we caught them without taking any damage, and we had, high enough health, or we were above 90 health, they give us a gold portrait frame. Now, if you took a lot of damage, or you failed to catch the ghost within like one pull or something, or, you took multiple times, you eventually go down to silver and then bronze. It depends on all the stats. I don't exactly know them off the top of my head. I will explain them as the LP goes on. I'm not going to bother with like putting a note because I'd rather explain as time goes on. But in this case, though, we did succeed in getting all these ghosts just in time with a golden frame, which is kind of like the rankage for this. It does suck because the only way to get, fix a golden frame for this as we restart that boss fight, or the portrait ghost fight, which it is much easier in the 3DS version. I will hand it to that does make it the definitive edition, because you don't have to restart the whole mansion in order to get like a certain frame color. That is kind of the completionist aspect. You can just go to the ghost in the gallery and then refight them using the 3DS version. Also in this case, it will show us all our money that we have tallied up right now, and we'll get a little total. So now in this case, we have 3 million gold. Oh no, never mind. 7 million gold. Man, if I had that much, I could go to college for free as much as I really desired. Also, it has a high score, so we were able to beat that high score from last time. That'll be pretty freaking cool. I don't believe that's the LP one. That is from my first save file I ever did, which I believe I sucked as a kid. I could be wrong about that, though, but you know what? I'll just go ahead and... yeah, I guess I'll click save if it isn't the end of the world if I guess the recording fails, but hopefully it doesn't. Where will you go now, Luigi? Well, in this case, though, we'll be ending things off here, then. So, I want to talk more about this stuff, but I'll be honest, was something I should have said in the first episode. This game is just so massive for such a small game that only takes a few hours to complete. It has just an expansive community, just so many things are just brought up more and more about the game as the year goes on, like as the days go on, and the community just finds out more and more about this, and especially just this game overall has to be one of the most cult classic games ever of all time. I know that kind of contradicts my statement about how I don't like to pick favorites, but this game I think is unique because of that case right there, and it's very memorable. We're even warranted a sequel eventually, and now even a remake. Also, it's just me, but it looks like Luigi's floating on the ground down there. I don't know, but something about this game is it's fantastic how more and more is found out as the years go on, and it just makes it more and more memorable and revered by peers all around, and critiques especially. I think that's what makes this game fantastic, and it's just amazing how a game that is soon to be 20 years old next year has has more and more things found out about it. And 3DS version, while it isn't exactly could have been the definitive edition, I'm just glad that, I should have been probably talking with the gallery right there. I'm just glad that really it had a remake. I'm not going to go on about that. Next time on Luigi's Mansion, or Luigi's Hidden Mansion as I keep messing up, we'll be progressing the mansion using our newfound area key, and see what else is awaiting us in the dark halls. And hopefully we can save our brother Mario. See you guys next time, and of course, remember to steal yourselves. Bye-bye.